You're about to watch the no annoying music version of a video I did a while back on the difference between baby backs, spare ribs, and St. Louis style ribs. I also removed a bunch of nonsensical babble from the beginning to get you right to the point, because nobody likes that nonsense, including me. Welcome to Tony Tone Barbecue. If you like what you see, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe, and a huge thank you to my over 5,000 subscribers at this point. I do welcome your comments and questions. Thank you for visiting my channel, and I hope you enjoy. Okay, as you can see, I've got 3 racks of ribs here. Picked these up today, all from the same store, same brand. I've got first pork spare ribs and pork St. Louis style ribs and pork loin back ribs. These are the baby back ribs, okay? First thing I want to point out is the price difference. Your pork spare ribs here, this is a ginormous double pack. There's 2 racks of ribs in here, weighing 10.44 pounds at a price of $2.19 a pound. Great deal. Okay, and I've got your pork St. Louis style ribs here. This package is just a single rack of ribs. It is 3.34 pounds of ribs at a price of $3.69 a pound. Okay, and then on the pork loin baby back ribs, this is also a single pack. It weighs 3.4 pounds and at a price of $4.19 a pound. I find this to be very typical, that your pork ribs are going to be a little less expensive than your St. Louis style ribs, and that's going to be even less expensive than your baby back ribs. So first, let's talk about where these ribs come from. Got this handy dandy little chart here. First of all, your baby back ribs. The baby back ribs, as the name implies, comes from the upper portion right up top of the back of the pig. So if you have your live Wilbur here, this is going to be positioned kind of like this at the top of the pig. So you're going to be kind of petting him right up here on the upper portion of his back. Okay? Now let's look at the pork spare ribs. These big monsters are this piece right here, the lower piece, everything from this line, from the ends of the baby backs, all the way down, wrapping down the bottom. These big monsters are going to be more like positioned on the side of the pig, down like this. So if you're going to be petting Wilbur, you're going to be kind of more petting the side of the pig. All right? Now, your St. Louis style ribs are actually just this. I'm going to position it more accurately, okay? You've got your baby backs, you've got your entire pork spare rib. These guys are right there. That's your St. Louis style rib. On your chart here, it's this piece in the middle, right between these 2 yellow lines, right in here. That's your St. Louis style ribs. So all St. Louis style ribs is you take your pork spare ribs and you trim off what is referred to as the pork rib tips. On the back side here, you can see it's pretty much just a line right here across this way. Cut that off. You're going to be cutting this stuff off here. Now, here's what I like to do. I don't like going to the store and buying St. Louis style pork ribs. Reason why is sometimes they're great, sometimes they're cut nicely, but what I find a lot of time is they trim off too much meat, and I like to square them up really nicely and make them really pretty. I like to make sure that I leave all the meat on there that I want, but I want them to be nice and square so I can control that. Not to mention, it's a lot less expensive per pound to buy the untrimmed pork spare ribs. And then I get this other piece of meat here that I can do whatever I want with. I might barbecue them also, or I might throw them into some chili or some other concoction that I make. Anyways, I got a lot of options that I can do with this, so I don't mind paying less and keeping this meat and doing something with it. Really, that's all it is. That's the difference. Now, the preference of what you like, some people love the baby back ribs. Baby back ribs are great. They're shorter. They've usually got a lot of good thick meat on them. I haven't had a lot of luck in the restaurants, especially some of the chain restaurants. A lot of times they're kind of thin and I don't like them. But at home, these are fantastic barbecued. Whether you're going to grill them hot and fast or do more of a slow cook, they're delicious, they're tender, they're really great. My true favorite, though, is the St. Louis style pork spare rib, but again, I'm going to cut them myself. I'm just going to get the pork spare ribs. I'm going to cut off the tips. I love the way the St. Louis style ribs have it. They're just big. They've got a lot of meat on them. They've got plenty of fat if you like to leave some of the extra fat on there, or if you want to trim it off. They're just great. They are really my favorite ribs to cook. And that's it. That's the simple difference between the types of ribs. Okay? Hope that helped.